Hey, welcome back to the Big Red Zone. We are very excited for today's show. We're going to talk wild card weekend in the NFL. NFL coaches, we had firing Monday, so we're going to talk about all the coaches that got fired and the new ones that are coming in next year. Also, remember, new episodes come out every Wednesday. Wednesday, that's right, on YouTube or any streaming services. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Leave a comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and tell a friend. It helps us out a lot and keep the show growing. All right, all that and more on this week's episode of the Big Red Zone. Welcome to the podcast. This is the Big Red Zone. I'm your host, Big Red. As always, I am joined by Danny Football.
Too sweet me, Big Red. Real quick. Nice.
What's that? What's that?
Wow.
Mean?
That's a hand sign.
What's that mean?
That's a hand sign. We can't say what it is.
We'll get to it probably.
All right.
Hopefully.
I don't think we can legally say what it is.
Okay. Am I going to get arrested now? I'm nervous what I just did. I feel like I just...
And producer John.
Producer John,
cease and
explain.
desist or something. You'll just get a cease and desist letter in the mail.
All right, fair enough. What are they going to take from me? I have nothing. Welcome back to the Big Red Zone. Very crazy week. We're getting into all the wild card weekend madness. I know Danny Football is pretty hot about something, and he said at the top of the show, he said, "Big Red, we got to talk about this."
Michigan just doesn't want to win football games and or beat Ohio State, I guess, because Jim Harbaugh got another goddamn extension, and this guy's going to be in Ann Arbor a lot longer than I want him to be. Listen, I mean, did he pull Michigan out from the bottom of the barrel? Yes, but we're stuck now. There's a ceiling, and things need to change. And things aren't going to change now. It's going to be the same old thing. He can't recruit quarterbacks. The team's going to be trash. We're going to lose late in the season. We're going to lose to Ohio State, and we're never going to get a natty. I'm pissed, Big Red. I'm pissed.
He was on a lot of lists for NFL head coaching jobs, and I don't.
I would have been the first one to let him leave. Would have drove him to Detroit Airport myself.
Now, I didn't realize you're that big of a Michigan fan. I thought you were.
I'm a big. I see. My dad's from Michigan, so I kind of pony off of that.
Fair enough.
But UMass Lowell doesn't have UMass Lowell doesn't have football, so
I knew that.
I'm allowed to bandwagon a football team.
I thought you were a Notre Dame guy.
I'm a Notre Dame guy. Yeah. I dabble.
Dabble with the Notre Dame.
You can't look the way I look and not be a Fighting Irish fan. So you got to be able to hop back and forth.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I knew you were an Ian Book guy, and I knew
I was a big Jimmy Clausen guy. That didn't really work out for me.
Yeah. Well, hopefully Ian Book works out. Obviously, Andy doesn't think so, but you never know. Maybe he'll be a good backup somewhere.
According to Andy, he's just going to flame out. So,
I think Danny Football and producer John would be remiss if we didn't mention whatever you guys wanted to talk about.
I thought you were going to. Yeah, go ahead.
The Bullet Club. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's your.
They're a wrestling faction that started in Japan and now they're reforming in the United States.
I know producer John's excited. He's been texting me since last week about it.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be an end of the show thing, but here we are.
Let's just start it off.
He just wants to get it out of the way. Get some early night wrestling in.
Yeah, get some early night wrestling in. We got a whole show of football. We can talk a little other wrestling.
Bullet Club's back.
Boom.
Oh, there you have it. There you have it. Let's get it.
Bullet Club's back anyway. Kenny Omega reunited with what do they go by? Anderson and Gallows?
The Good Brothers?
Good Brothers, yeah, and the Young Bucks on AEW. Steve's all lost here.
He threw a lot of letters, a lot of animals at me.
I'll give you like a sports analogy here, Big Red. They were all part of like a bigger team, and then they all went their separate ways, like free agents do.
Like the Beatles.
Yes, but then they came back together, and they're reforming the band. The band is back together again.
Kenny Omega's like John Lennon or Paul McCartney, I guess, more like.
It's like if the LeBron Heat broke up and then came back together.
So like when LeBron and D Wade met in Cleveland,
right? Yes,
D Wade wasn't as good.
Yes, I would argue they've all lost a step except for Kenny.
All right, so Kenny's like LeBron.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes, he is.
Okay. It sucks that AJ Styles can't be a part of it though.
Well, we don't know. We don't know what any other contract situations are.
There's no way.
AJ Styles is like sounds like Carmelo Anthony. He always wants to get in it, but they never want to sign him. The disrespect is absolutely unreal too, right?
Actually, I don't know if they let AJ in because I remember in Japan they said,
Oh, that's right.
Bullet
Kenny
Club is
kicked him
for
out.
life, except for AJ Styles.
They kicked him out.
Yeah, that is like. I guess that is like Carmelo Anthony.
But you are supposed to be you're supposed to be Bullet Club for life, so maybe they'll let him back in. Or Finn Balor could go there. Who knows?
Actually, AEW Dynamite's gonna be on when this comes out, so I'll wonder what happens in whatever 12 hours from when this comes out at 7 a.m.
They just break up again.
Yeah, they do nothing.
None of this means anything.
That would be disappointing. I'm not even invested in it, and that would be disappointing.
We'll open the show with that if that happens.
Fair enough. Well, without further ado, I think that's enough wrestling for one day.
Oh, wait a minute. The Kenny Omega and Rey Fenix match? Nuts. People
5
are calling it
stars.
match of the year already. Anyway, go on.
Football.
Weekend recap. What can I say? Let's get into weekend recap. It's the weekend recap. All right, weekend recap. We only had a few games this week. Football all day Saturday and Sunday, which was kind of nice. But we picked the 3 games that we wanted to talk about, and I think the first one that is definitely, I think, my favorite one to watch this weekend was the Bucs Washington game. The football team almost pulled it out over the Bucs. It was close, man. I thought there was like a deciding factor in that game, and that's when that the young no-name Taylor Heinicke got hurt. After, like when he got hurt, that was like a big moment in the game, and I thought they were going to drive and go ahead, or I think it was like a chance to either tie or go ahead. And that was like the deciding factor, man. It was also a pick 6 in there, but other than that, I think Taylor Heinicke, I think, just played himself into a contract. I don't know about you, but I think he just played himself into a starting quarterback position.
Dude, I was going to say, I thought this was going to be a blowout game. I turned it on after halftime. This Heinicke kid, dude, electric factory. When he made that dive for the pylon, I was up off my couch, and I had no idea who this kid was.
You heard it. He was taking classes like 3 months ago.
Dude, he's a gamer. I mean, I couldn't believe he made a 15-yard dive for the pylon. He made it.
You know why, though?
Why?
You know what team he used to play for?
The Patriots?
Forget the Patriots.
Oh, the Battlehawks, right?
He's a former Battlehawk, backup quarterback for the Battlehawks. Clear to engage. He's built different. The Seattle Battlehawks are a different breed. That's why they breed winners. By the way, I think, and this I could be wrong. I think PJ Walker did. Did he start week 17? I don't know if PJ Walker started.
Let's find out, but I know where you're going at. Keep going.
But I think he's the first XFL quarterback to start a game. Don't quote me on it. PJ Walker might have started week 17.
1 second.
Teddy Bridgewater. And I know he played at some point, so he's not the first quarterback to play.
He did play a game. Yeah, he made a start.
He did make a start? All
yes.
Right. Well, first playoff start.
True. How many XFL guys are playing in the playoffs right now?
Just him. Probably not him anymore, but
well, he tried his damnedest.
Tried his best.
Keep going.
No, and also like you said, he was on the practice squad for the Patriots a couple of years ago. But I mean, what a story, dude! He was like taking math classes like 3 months ago. He played in the XFL as a backup quarterback. Career was thought to be over, and now he's starting a game wild card weekend against Tom Brady and the Bucs. And
he's putting it all on the line, baby. All on the line.
Heroes get remembered, Danny Football, but legends never die. I think Taylor, we may be seeing a legend in the making. Probably too much after like 4 quarters of football and a loss, but I'm excited.
A lot of eyeballs, baby. A lot of eyeballs on him.
Now, I think, like I said, I think he just played himself into a new contract. Like he's bound to get a bunch of bites.
Someone's got to give him a chance. Yeah.
And I bet it's going to be he may be the backup next year, but he's going to go to a team that they're not sold on the quarterback. I could see him going to I could see him re-signing in Washington. I could see him going to the Bears. I could see him going to the Rams. The Rams didn't even start Jared Goff. So I could see them going to the Rams. I could see
Lions, maybe.
Lions, Texans, Lions, Tigers, Bears. Oh my! I could see them going. I could see him going somewhere. Patriots. Like I could see them bringing in a guy like Taylor Heinicke, who
there is a market for guys who are willing to put their body on the line like that, dude. There's a market.
I think he is willing to be. I'm sure he wants to start, but I feel like he's willing to be a backup quarterback somewhere.
Yeah, he knows his role. Yeah,
like I think a lot of guys in the league that are going to be free agents don't want to be a backup quarterback. I feel like he is willing to, but wants to start. I think that's the difference. He's just looking for any opportunity to play. He's hungry. So he just played himself into a contract. He's definitely going to get signed somewhere. And if he doesn't, he just got his degree. So congratulations.
But how did we feel about the GOAT himself on the other sideline?
I mean, Brady's Brady, man. Like he had a good day. What are you going to say? I mean, okay, the Leonard Fournette fans, he got his one game out of 5 that he had a good day. It was just a good overall day for the team. And it's like, he had Mike Evans had over 100 yards. Cameron Brate out of nowhere, which is a typical Tom Brady fashion.
Big game for him.
It's typical Tom Brady. He finds like random guys to have big days sometimes.
Yeah, he purposely doesn't use them all season, and then in the playoffs, it's
right. And Cameron Brate had a touchdown if he didn't drop, like he fumbled it, dropped it at the end. So, but he would have had a touchdown there too. Godwin had a touchdown. Antonio Brown had a touchdown. Like I tweeted this out too. I was like, imagine if we had Antonio Brown all year last year.
Definitely would have made things easier.
I feel like Brady would still be here. Antonio Brown would still be here. We would have made it past the Titans. Like, I feel like it would have been a total. We might have not even played Wild Card Weekend. It would have been a total. That's like a big what if. Like,
well, I mean, all he had to do was not go on his phone, and he would have been fine.
Right.
He brought it on himself. But
no, I'm not saying it's anyone else's fault beside Antonio Brown. I'm just saying, imagine if.
Yeah, right. If he had kept his head on straight.
Right. But I mean, the Bucs look dangerous, man. Mm-hmm. I stick by my theory that I don't think they're going to win. I had them winning this game. I think everyone had them winning this game.
Yeah, stay tuned for picks of the week.
Stay tuned for picks of the week because I don't see them continuing much further. But who knows? I still root for it. Like, I feel like a lot of people get this confused. Like I'm not rooting against Tom Brady. Like I don't
root against him, but I don't root hard for him.
I don't believe in that team. I'm a Patriots
guy before anything, so I'm not gonna I'm not gonna actively root for the Bucs, but I'm not gonna be like, oh, I hope he throws like 7 interceptions.
Yeah, I don't really care if he wins or not. I'm not rooting against him. I just feel I don't believe.
I'm not gonna buy a Bucs Brady jersey, but I'm also not gonna burn my Patriots Brady jersey.
Right. Gronk? No, I'm just kidding. Not Gronk.
Gronk, I'm a little more salty about.
I'm a little salty about Gronk, but I understand it. It's like I don't know. Again, we put it out there on Twitter, and I think the results are still coming in. I don't root against him by any means, but I don't think I don't believe in the Bucs team at all. And if anything proved it, it was they gave up 23 points to the Washington football team. To a guy that just came off the couch last week. Like, come on. I'm not sold. So, moving on to the next game.
Two teams that we actively root against.
I had Lamar Jackson in fantasy football, so I was rooting for him a little bit during the season. We have the Ravens Titans. I like Mike Vrabel too. We don't like the Titans.
I don't like the Titans or the Ravens.
You don't like Mike Vrabel? I don't like the Ravens, but
I don't know. It's just something about him, man. Something about him.
Was it that they ended the dynasty last year?
That could be it.
Is that something that
I think they got pumped full of hot air last year, and I just didn't like it.
Imagine if you could go back to in the middle of the dynasty, and you're thinking about the teams that are going to end your Patriots dynasty. Oh my god, dude. And you think of Ryan Tannehill led offense.
Maybe that's why.
And Mike Vrabel.
If we went down to a Ryan Tannehill led team. Shit.
And a Logan Ryan pick 6. Or Matt, was it Logan Ryan? Yeah, Logan Ryan.
Yeah, it was Logan Ryan.
Yeah, that's depressing. Let's get off that. Lamar Jackson he finally got the he broke the ice in playoff wins, which I think was big for him. I think that was
huge, dude, for a mental hurdle that he had to get over real quick.
Huge. And he didn't really have a good day throwing the football. But he went to vintage Lamar Jackson and had over 136 yards and a touchdown. Only threw 179 yards and an interception. No TDs. He fed Marquise Brown, which is he really hasn't done all year. And other than that, there wasn't that much. They're going to need a little bit more from J.K. Dobbins in the running game. I mean, when Lamar's running 100-something yards, I guess, okay, you have a running back, you have someone running 100-something yards, and he led the team in carries. But they need a little bit more from the passing game, and they need like a guy like J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards to kind of step up.
They definitely need to make it a more diverse offense.
Right. And I mean, the other team that loss that we're going to talk about in a second is completely opposite. They're totally throwing the ball and then had zero running game, which we'll talk about in a second. The Ravens D that I was impressed with, they held King Henry in check.
Completely flipped the script from last year, man. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it.
18 carries and 40 yards, no touchdowns. You're going to win against that team. Win against the Titans if you're holding Henry to 40 yards. Part of that, I want to say, is because, because the Titans got off to a quick lead 10-0. Then Baltimore tied it up at halftime. It was tied 10-10. I was looking for a lead at some point. I mean, the Ravens did take the lead in the third, so I guess they got to try to go throwing the ball then. But, I mean, you were tied or winning for more than half the game.
They never really had to completely abandon their game plan.
Right. So, I like that is kind of surprising.
That's on your boy Vrabel.
That is on Vrabel. You know what it is? I think Vrabel with the trick play at last year, that got me.
Oh, he just kind of kept going into his bag.
Yeah, he kept going in the bag of tricks, and I loved it.
Not this year, though. Maybe that was his downfall this year.
Now this raises a question, and I mean, we mentioned a little bit earlier. Is it too early to jump ship on Ryan Tannehill?
I was never on the ship, so I think he just got straight up exposed last night. So I'm not a huge fan of him. I think he's good, but I don't think he's how much money he's getting paid good. But if people are going to jump off the ship, I'm already in the water. So,
see, I'm not ready to jump on him yet. I don't think I think the jury's still out on him. Look, judging by how he did last year and this year, I hold Adam Gase fully responsible to his success in Miami. There's no other. He should have got out earlier. He was terrible in Miami. Also, some injury problems. Mm-hmm. But he's finally been able to stay healthy, I think, over his tenure in Tennessee. And what I've seen is pretty good. Like, it's not great. It's by any means not like he's not like a great the best quarterback in the league. But I think there's something to be said. Like, I think he executes is a tough word, but I feel like he gets the job done a lot. I feel like manager. I would take Ryan Tannehill for this year over what we had this year as a quarterback.
Over Cam Newton? Oh yeah, easily.
Or like a lot of like the options that are like, I feel like I just feel like Ryan Tannehill is like a solid starting quarterback.
For who's available, he's definitely towards the top.
And like looking at his stat line over the last couple of years, I don't think it's been that terrible. Like, first of all, so last year he had, this year, complete start, he had 11-5 record, winning record. He threw, he had 33 touchdowns, pretty good. He had over 3,000 yards, almost 4,000 yards, not bad, and 7 INTs. That's not a bad stat line. And last year he went 7-3 as a starter, threw 22 touchdowns in just under 3,000 yards and 6 picks. So in a couple games, like what was it, 5 games difference, 6 games difference? He had 11 more touchdowns and like over 1,000 yards more. So I feel like I wish he went there sooner because I feel like we would have seen more growth out of him. But I'm not ready to jump ship on him. I feel like there's worse options. Like I feel like they could be in a worse
No,
spot.
I'm not saying they should get rid of him. I just don't think he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. So there's a ceiling.
Yeah. So I guess the trick is they got to find pieces to put around him too. Because I mean, yeah, they have some good pieces.
He has Brown and Henry, man. I'm not sure what else he could really use.
I mean, like some wide receiver help. I mean, he does have what's his name? He does have Corey Davis. Well, yeah, obviously Brown, but he does have Corey Davis, who is an underrated. But I feel like they need another wide receiver to and maybe that will happen through the draft. There's some good wide receivers in this draft, so maybe they spend a first round pick on a wide receiver. I don't know. I feel, and they've been pretty good at draft. I mean, AJ Brown was a hit, so if they can hit on another wide receiver, I feel like they'll be pretty good. You're right. You have Derrick Henry. With Derrick Henry, that helps you a lot. But I feel like they need a little bit more. If they do, in this case, shut down Derrick Henry, now you need some weapons for Ryan Tannehill to throw.
I don't think he's good enough to get them over the hump of an AFC Championship appearance.
Yeah, they did. I mean, the jury's still out. We need to see what happens. See if they can add a couple too. I'll judge it based on next season. Next season, he's not able to do, like, if he has another same year. I'll be right with you. I think it's time to try to look elsewhere. Now, Danny Football, this is something you wrote down. I see in your notes here. The logo dance.
I didn't like this at all.
You didn't like it at all?
Did not like it at all. I mean,
So brief the people. Some people may not know what happened.
The Ravens
backstory.
The Ravens win the game and they dance all over the Titans logo, which, I mean, I really don't care. I don't root for the Titans. I don't care about the Titans, but I don't know, man. Like, I guess they were doing it for like payback from earlier in the season where the Titans danced on the Ravens logo. I don't know. I don't watch their games, but like, if we've learned anything this season, it's don't dance on the logos. Juju is prime suspect number one for that. I don't know. Like, you just want a playoff game and your first inkling is to go and dance on the logo and disrespect like the team you just beat. I mean, they got it all coming next week, so we'll see what happens. But I wasn't a huge fan of it.
Yeah, I mean, they've literally choked the last 3 years years in the playoffs.
They have nothing. Like you finally won a playoff game for the first time in how long, and you decide to just dance on the logo like you're the Patriots. Get out of here! I don't know.
Yeah, well, the Bills are going to shut them down next week. Anyway,
Amen.
So, potential future pick of the week too.
Stay tuned.
But anyways, I think they're gonna annihilate them. I think it will be close, but I think it's going to be a win for the Bills. Looking ahead to our last game of the weekend, this was a big one. It was Browns-Steelers. Browns came on top 48-37. The defense, I heard, just arrived off the plane as we speak. There was defense was terrible.
This was violent and anything but silent, man. This was loud as hell.
Now, I have to say, you got to give the Steelers some credit. They did make a valiant comeback. In this game.
They didn't roll over and die, 100%.
And if you take away the stupid fumble touchdown, they're down to it's a 41-37 game, and I think it's a lot different going down the stretch of that game.
I mean, it's so hard to save yourself after shooting yourself on the foot so many times in the first quarter.
Right. I mean, the first play of the game, you gave up
literally.
a touchdown.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, I mean, that was a bad way to start, but they just kept it. Just snowballed the entire quarter. It's one thing if you blow up on the first play, it's like, all right, well, that's fine, but to just completely lose the ship in 28-0 in the first quarter, man, that's a backbreaker.
That's a tough hill to climb. Now, people may be saying the Browns defense did get 4 picks and a fumbled TD, but they still were terrible.
Yeah.
They got turnovers.
Did you see
the last pick from Ben? It was like he threw it right at him.
They were opportunistic. They definitely cashed in on the mistakes that the Steelers did make.
Right.
But for the most part, I mean, Big Ben, 500 yards, 4 TDs.
Right.
Was carving them up.
He did throw 4 picks, but when Big Ben throws 500 yards and 4 TDs, like that's I think he more than made up for it.
Oh yeah, he definitely did. But I mean, it's still it's just mistakes.
Yeah,
you got to give the Browns credit; they cashed in on the mistakes. It's one thing to recover the fumbles and make the picks. It's another to actually score on them, and they did that.
Yeah, and the other thing, looking at Big Ben's stat line, I mentioned it earlier. This team is the opposite of the Titans. They're so one-sided of leaning to Ben. Ben threw the ball 68 times. Now, I understand part of that is you were down, 28-0. So I guess, you do got to throw the ball a lot. But I don't know how much it would have changed. They've been up winning in games down the stretch, and he's still throwing the ball. I don't know they must not believe in James Conner, which makes me very nervous because he's my keeper in almost a lot of my leagues. But I don't understand. Like, I feel like James Conner is not a bad option to have in your backfield. I think they just don't use him.
They've been weird with him all season.
Like, they don't use him. And if you're not going to use him, Benny Snell is still good. Like, use Benny Snell. He's a good rusher. He had a 100-yard day when Connor was out week 15 or so.
Yeah. I'm with you on I get they were down 28-0, but it was also still the first quarter. So I feel like if they wanted to not establish the run, but still mix it in to kind of keep the defense honest, they could have done it.
And you scored 0 in the first and 10 in the second. You didn't score that much to begin with. Maybe run the ball a little bit.
I can't wait until someone in the comments is like, you guys don't know football. And we're like, all right, well, here we go again.
Yeah. And like I said, there was 2 big things that I think, I don't know if you could say broke the back of the Steelers, but this is 2 back-breaking plays. One was the first play when they threw they had the fumble recovery in the end zone. Mm-hmm. And the other was a Tomlin call. Mike Tomlin, you're losing fourth quarter and you're rolling. Your offense is like, you have all the momentum on your side. You're on the other side 40-something, 45, I think, and it's a 4th and 1 and you don't go for it. I feel like that was a bonehead play. I think
no balls.
Everyone was screaming, go for it. And that's, like I said, maybe they don't trust Connor to run in a yard. Maybe they don't trust Snell to run in a yard. Maybe they don't trust Ben to pick up the 1 yard, like a little short flare to Juju, which I don't understand because the kid was, like I said, at that time, he probably had like 400 yards. So I don't understand that call. If you don't get it, so what? You're on your own 40. The defense still has place to room to get a stop or at least give up the 3. And if they get the stop and you kick it back, all the momentum shifts to the other side. It was like I thought it was like which I'm surprised Tomlin didn't do it. I feel like that's a very field move, and there was no field kicking the ball away. Like, you got to go for it in that situation. And I mean, I'm not saying you score, but maybe you get 3 points.
Right. So, I mean, in theory, you punt because you believe in your defense. What's the difference? I mean, you punt and your defense comes out and you're relying on them. If you go for it on 4th and 1 and you lose it, I mean, your defense is still going out there. So no matter what you do there, either the defense that you believe in so much to punt is still going out there if you don't get it. And if you get it, the drive continues.
And it's not like you're on your own. It's not like you have 40 yards to your end zone. You're on the opposite side of the 50. Like, you have room to make a move.
Right.
So, and if anything, make it a long field goal. So, I don't know. I didn't agree with that call. And then they ended up scoring on that play. And I was like, oh, man, they scored a touchdown. Now Big Ben's got to go out there and put up another touchdown, which he did. But it was just like, I feel like that made no sense in the game. Like, I feel like all the moment, I tweeted it out too. I said that Steelers have all the momentum in this game. I think they needed to score 2. I think they were down by 16. And, they score there with I don't know how much time was left. But I forget how much time now. But say 8 minutes left and you're down by 8. Like, that's a stop and a touchdown. Like, that's huge. So, I don't know. I feel like that was a blown opportunity.
Steelers gonna Steeler, man.
And I hope that guy, whoever you are, that said that how can a team be a fraud because we said the
Oh, my
Steelers
God.
were 11 and the biggest.
We got
frauds in
receipts,
the
baby.
NFL.
We got receipts now.
How can you say that they're frauds being 11-0? This is why, because they have no running game. Their defense, which was one of the best in the NFL, just gave up 48 points, really 41 points to the Cleveland Browns, who Juju said was nothing.
And their coward-ass coach didn't go for it on 4th and 1.
And it's like ridiculous, cowards. So it was absolutely ridiculous. But happy for the Browns. Not silent, but definitely violent. I'm rooting for them going next week. They're going to have a tough test against the Chiefs. Did you hear what your boy Claypool said?
Yeah,
said it doesn't matter. They're going to get
destroyed by the Chiefs. Well, I mean,
well, that's good. You can be golfing.
I was going to say, dude, you're going to be watching from the couch. It could have been you. So
yeah,
it is what it is. It's easy to talk trash when you're not in it. So
yeah. And by the way, your team just gave up 41 points, technically 48 points to the Browns that you think stink. So with that logic, the Chiefs would have put up 100. So get out of here, dude. Like win the playoff game, then you can talk some shit.
Literally.
All right, so we're gonna get into we skipped it last week because we did the bracket. We're gonna get into picks of the week. Big week for us. So let's get to it. Picks of the week. Now, I think we've said it a bunch of times. We stink at this segment. We really do. We have.
I think you did a lot better at the bracket than I did.
The last couple of weeks, I've taken some chances, and it's come back to bite me. So I'm trying to end this season with a winning record. I'm at 500 right now. In Danny Football, you got some catching up to do. I don't know if you can.
I can't mathematically get to 500.
That's sad. Well, we'll start over with after the season ends. We'll do NBA maybe. Try something.
All right, we're gonna try to make it respectable. I'm gonna go Bills over Ravens. They're gonna be in Orchard Park. They're gonna have fans in the stands. The Bills just won for the first time since 1995. They're feeling good. They got some momentum. White Lightning's feeling good about himself. And the Ravens are coming off the juju of standing on or dancing on the logo. So football gods are going to strike them down. Bills roll. AFC Championship game.
Well, I know 2, possibly 3 people that are going to be rooting for the Bills this weekend. So, and they're sitting right here. I don't know where Producer John stands with this, but I'll say he stands with the Bills.
I hate the Bills.
Yeah, there it is.
I can't stand the Bills. I don't know why.
Why don't you like the Bills?
I think I hate the Bills more than the Ravens.
Bad colorway.
No, sorry. I hate the Ravens more than the Bills.
Wait, what was your reasoning, John?
He doesn't like their colors?
I don't like their colorway.
He doesn't like their
uniform. I don't know. I just never liked the Bills. Haven't they? They've always been rivals with the Patriots.
Well, we always kick the shit out of them. So
yeah, it's not really a rivalry.
But like, it's not a rivalry.
It's not a rivalry, but they're like loud, even though we kick the shit out of them.
Right, that's what I mean. So why?
They're like, oh, we're gonna get you this year. And it's like, no, you're not.
Yeah, exactly. It's like being a fan of the Jets. It's the same exact team.
Oh, the Jets I hate so much more.
The Jets are way worse.
If it was Ravens Jets, I just wouldn't watch the game at all.
I think I would because I would try to figure out how the Jets made it to the divisional round. If I had to rank my dislike for the
AFC Championship,
AFC
Jesus
East
Christ,
I would say the Jets is number 1.
And this is hate. Okay,
hate like that. I don't like.
Yeah, Jets is easily number 1. Jets is 1.
I would normally say the Dolphins, but the Dolphins are kind of swaying me with putting the Patriots basically down in Miami. But I still say the Dolphins are number 2, and then the Bills at 3.
Yeah.
But that's close. That's close.
Yeah, I guess.
Dolphins
because the Dolphins were never really a threat either.
Yeah, but they were still
the last couple seasons. The last couple seasons, at least the Bills have been kind of putting it together, and not challenging us, but like kind of making it games. I don't know.
I mean, Miami has beat us the last few years.
Yeah, but they don't make the playoffs.
Yeah, neither do we. Neither did we. So we can't.
Neither did we.
Get ready for it.
All right, Bills over Ravens.
I'm going
to the well.
They say I'm going to the well. I'm going to the well.
One more
works
time.
Once. There's an old saying: if it works once, do it again. And then after it does twice, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm not doubling down. I'm tripling down.
He's parlaying.
I'm going Saints over Bucs. I'm a little more nervous saying Saints over Bucs this time. It's incredibly hard to sweep a team, especially when you have a guy named Tom Brady on the other team. it's near impossible to beat them 3 times in one season. But I think the Saints have a little more magic going into this next game.
This is it, man. This is Breeze winner go home. This
may be the final time we see Drew Brees suit up. This could we're gonna have Alvin Kamara out there. We're gonna have Michael Thomas, who just came off of a nice little day for himself. 5 receptions, 73 yards, and a touchdown last week. Didn't even know he was playing last week until I saw him catch a touchdown. So I think Alvin Kamara, the defense is trash. Alvin Kamara may run for 300 yards. Michael Thomas is going to have over 100 yards. Drew Brees may have a day. They're at home.
It's going to be a shootout, man.
It doesn't matter. It's going to be a shootout. It's going to be a shootout.
Over-under is 52.
Really?
I take the over.
I may take the over in that too. I think I have to go to the well, which could be Drew Brees' final game in the
Ride the hot hand, baby. Ride that.
I'm riding it. Let's go Saints over Bucs.
Beautiful.
So,
I like Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers gets a lot of hate on this podcast.
I hate Aaron Rodgers.
I like Aaron Rodgers.
What are you talking about? They said he was going to be the MVP.
Yeah, I know, but you're always saying, "Oh, I'm surprisingly a big Aaron Rodgers defender." Oh, wow.
Because I don't like him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I defend him like I think he's really good.
That's not what I mean. I'm the only one that likes him. I'm a big Aaron Rodgers guy.
Why do you like Aaron Rodgers?
I don't know. I like him. He seems trustworthy.
Oh man, I think
like,
he's
I feel
snake.
like
his ex-wife may say differently.
Oof.
What,
I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just know he's divorced. Yeah, what was the lady's name? She was an actress.
Olivia Munn.
Olivia Munn.
Oh yeah.
I like Olivia Munn.
He just seems like a good dad.
He does seem like a good guy.
Is he a father? Is he a kid? I don't think he has a kid.
But I'm saying if he did have a kid, he'd be a good dad.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't think
we know Tom Brady.
I have nothing against him personally.
Tom Brady's a horrible dad. He kisses his kids on the mouth.
What do you mean, dude? Come on.
It's COVID season. You can't kiss your kid on the mouth.
This was before COVID, please.
Imagine Tom Brady running around their mansion being, "Give me a kiss. Come here. I got you."
Whenever producer John chimes in, you never know what he's going to say. And we're back from our quick scheduled break brought to you by the Zoom call meeting ending. And it just went back. It said 40 minutes. So
buy ad space for Big Red Zone and help us fund our Zoom account.
Danny Football, very smart way to plugging. That's awesome.
Hey, do you not like when your podcast cuts off halfway through? Me either. Donate to Big Red Zone and we can pay for Zoom and not have to cut these together. So boom. There it is.
Eventually, I'm sure we'll make a Patreon or something.
$50, guys. $50 gets you our top tier. And
Danny Football,
that tier, I'll personally call you and tell you you've done a great job today.
What do you? That's getting very creepy with the phone call.
You want to give us $50?
Speaking of creepy, Tom Brady running around his house chasing his kids out.
I feel like that was just a censorship from Zoom. I feel like they just didn't want us to talk about
a lot of Tom
kissing
Brady
kids anymore. I guess we know John isn't a big fan of Tom Brady anymore.
Ooh.
He's all right.
Damn.
Were you ever a big fan of him, or were you just?
Oh my God, yeah.
Are you salty that he left? It's turning into a interrogation.
I'm not salty he left. I'll say this: I'm not salty he left. I'm more excited that Bill Belichick declined Trump's medal than I am Tom Brady being a Trump supporter.
Good workaround.
All right.
Okay.
That's a way to tie in current events. I like it.
We're a hip podcast. We know what's going on.
We're with the times.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a Gronk? Are you salty about Gronk?
Gronk, I don't care much about because I feel like you dangle a treat in front of him and he kind of goes.
Jeez.
So I'm sure someone just you want
to play football with Tom? Uh-huh.
Yeah, he said, "You want to play football with Tom? Come here." I don't know. Overall, I like Tom Brady. I guess he's all right.
Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers?
Tom Brady.
All right. Good.
Yeah, I'm not crazy.
Right.
I like Aaron Rodgers is my number 2.
We're all on the same page here.
Yeah, I'm very aware and appreciative of what he's done for New England. Now, I was definitely more of a fan of him when he was on New England.
Yeah,
I think we can all agree about that.
Yeah.
I'm not actively really rooting for the Bucs necessarily.
Okay. Fair enough. I was curious. Danny football. Very sad to hear. Getting on to our next subject. UMass Lowell has a COVID no game again. I know he's very disappointed. He did have a little thing he wanted to fill in. Not the full 2 minutes. A little 30 seconds for roughing.
So,
what do you got?
Like Steve mentioned, Lowell got fucked again by
no.
COVID. We lost 3 goddamn games again.
That was like a
because
very momentum way, and you sounded very sad, and then you just got really fiery.
My Riverhawks just can't stay away from the COVID, so we can't play hockey. But I got a special treat here, guys. This Saturday, live from Fight Island in Abu Dhabi, we got UFC Fight Night. Methuen, Mass's own, number 6 ranked, Calvin Cater, takes on number 1 Max Holloway, with the winner likely getting a featherweight title shot at Alexander Volkanovski. The very first, Big Red, very first UFC card on ABC, Methuen Zone, headliner. This is a huge spot for us, Big Red.
Wait, when is it?
It's
This
Saturday night.
3 p.m.
It's Saturday day. In the middle, flip on between the football games, right?
Flip it on over to ABC and watch the Boston.
Before.
Finisher. Let him go to work. Let him go to work, baby. He's going to finish Max Holloway.
Hey, you can watch Methuen's own fight right before you see Green Bay Packers take on the Rams at 4:35. You got a whole hour to watch. It's not going to take an hour. Go
Nope.
watch it.
Take 5 minutes.
We should, if you're listening, Calvin Cater, you should come on the show. Methuen's own.
Send him a DM.
Yeah, well, maybe DM right after the podcast. We'll try to get him on. Methuen's own. Massachusetts, pride of Methuen.
Right up the road.
Right up the road. We'll have to get him on. All right. Give it a watch. Rooting for you, Calvin Cater.
We're getting Triple H and Randy Orton at the Rumble.
What?
Yeah, they just Raw's going on. Not to spoil Raw.
Oh, because McIntyre has COVID.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I knew I heard some wrestling music earlier. We're going to get into another. We're going back to football.
Boo.
Any football. This one pertains to the Patriots.
I'm all in on this one. This is a good one.
Should we theme this episode around the Capitol
Oh
building?
my God, dude.
Can I put that in a Photoshop?
Can we have a mute?
Oh my God.
Hold on. I got him. Don't worry. I muted him. Not a safe place. We'll mute you. John, can you unmute yourself if I mute you?
Can I?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
That was a bad call. I shouldn't have.
All right, Deshaun Watson isn't happy with his current situation and wants out of Houston. Big Red, your thoughts?
I think he's gone. I think he's gonna leave. This has just made me very excited. This is a roller coaster of emotions. For the Watson watch, I think he is going to be traded. And judging by the Texans' history of trades, I think you can get him for pretty cheap. Not the trade. Now the Patriots were in play. I heard rumored because Nick Casario's becoming.
We have an inside man.
GM. He's potentially becoming the new GM.
Ooh.
He's going to look to rebuild. Mm-hmm. So I think you rebuild with a new quarterback. I think that's a potential. The deal.
How much of a cap hit is he going to be though? That's a new deal.
I'm not sure what the cap hit is on him, but the deal I saw on ESPN or something was absolutely horrendous. It was Patriots get Deshaun Watson. We give up our first round pick, the number 15. Mm-hmm. I think a second round pick, another pick, and Jared Stidham.
Oh, dude, I'd do that in a heartbeat. Are you serious?
No, I know. I don't think the Texans would do that at all. I feel like that's such a terrible.
Well, I mean, they also traded DeAndre Hopkins for a second round pick.
Right,
so.
That was Billy O too, and he doesn't know what the heck he's doing.
Really should have made the move
then. GM off. Yeah, I know. We should try to make that move way earlier. Instead, they gave him a huge extension. But the rumor that's making me nervous, and this is the only other team I've heard, and it's a strong rumor coming in from our friends. I like to call them the other Patriots in the AFC East, the Dolphins.
Oh.
The Dolphins are rumored to do a trade where basically is centered around a QB swap. Tua goes to Houston. Watson goes to Miami. That makes me very nervous. Not only are we playing Josh Allen twice, we're going to play Deshaun Watson twice every year. And the Miami Dolphins now become a contender with him as the quarterback. I don't know. I mean, you probably have to throw some picks in there, too.
I mean, Tua would just go to Houston to die at that point.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like they're sold on Tua. No?
The Dolphins?
Yeah.
You would think so. I mean, they benched Fitzpatrick and he's having a career year.
Yeah, and they announced him. They already said he's going to be the starter.
Yeah, I don't know how much fire there is to that smoke.
But
I would make him a better team, no doubt. But you'd be mortgaging the future.
But would you? I mean, Deshaun Watson's young. It's only a couple years in the league.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I would take Watson in a heartbeat.
I was going to say Watson's had knee issues, but I mean,
Tua's back.
I was going to say Tua's no clean bill of health.
Like, didn't we say that was the reason we wanted him to sit this entire year was because of his bad injury history? I feel like that makes sense. I'd rather take a chance on Deshaun Watson than Tua, to be honest. But I'm hoping for the sake of the New England Patriots that doesn't happen. But we're going to be on Watson watch over the next few months. See where he goes. We'll update you as we go. Is there any other team predictions that are in the mix for that you can see?
I mean, if Deshaun Watson's available, every team should be at least making a phone call to see what it would take.
Yeah, I think
other than maybe the Chiefs, I'd say the Chiefs wouldn't call, but everyone else should definitely be fielding calls.
Well, I think you can add a few more on there. I mean, Seattle's not going to be looking for a new quarterback. Russ is still the quarterback. Even though he looked terrible the last half of the year, he's still their quarterback. I think there's totally bought and sold on Justin Herbert. I wouldn't trade out on Justin Herbert. I wouldn't Joey Burrow. I'd trust Joey and depending on his injury. Josh Allen. I trust Josh Allen. This is just off the top of my head. Do you have anyone else? I feel like there's a few more in there that I can't think of. Aaron Rodgers.
For Deshaun Watson, I don't care who my quarterback is. I'd be making the call.
I think
saying, hey, what do you want? And
don't get me wrong. There's a lot of teams that should be in play here, but
if it's a king's ransom, I mean, it's a king's ransom. But if it's something you can manage, then I would do it.
I could definitely see the Falcons being in play. I could see the Bears being in play. I could see even the Jets, which is kind of sad. I don't think the Jets could trade away like the high first round pick for them. But I don't know if they really want to do that. I think the Patriots are definitely in play here. I just don't know what they
I don't see why they wouldn't be.
I just don't know what they have to give up. They have a lot of cap space.
I'd give up a first round pick.
Oh, in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat, I would. We don't even draft well in the first round anyway. No. So what do we? Might as well get a bona fide stud. But to be continued on that, let's put a pin on that, and we'll get back to it in the next couple of months. And this is a fun segment we have. It's about guys losing their jobs. We're gonna go to the who he coaching, where he coaching.
Coaching carousel.
Coaching carousel. That's a better name. I wish you put that in there.
I didn't want to step on your feet, man.
I like that name a lot better. Coaching carousel. And we had one more to add from today.
Late breaking news, dude.
Doug Peterson out.
Deservedly so, man. Don't mess with my guy, Jalen Hurts.
I don't think that's his fault. Like, I really don't. I think that came from upstairs. They want the fifth or sixth.
You got to scapegoat someone, man. You got to scapegoat someone.
Yeah, I understand that, but I don't think everyone should be like, oh, Doug Peterson, he's the reason. Good for him. I think it's the management. The management wanted a fifth pick. So
I have no sympathy for Doug Peterson.
He won a Super Bowl. Good for him. He'll go somewhere.
That's right.
I don't think this year he's gonna get a job somewhere else though. What a ride for that guy, huh? Wins the Super Bowl and a couple years later he's out.
Lows, baby.
But looking at the teams, obviously we get the Eagles, the Jags, which I feel bad for Doug Marrone too. That guy got screwed. He was told to tank, and he's the scapegoat for that. So the Jags are out. The Jets team is looking for a new head coach. Chargers, Texans, Falcons, and Lions. So we're going to go through those teams. We're going to say who we think is going to be the replacement. Zach is not, Danny Football has not seen my list. I like how we have that third wall there. He has not seen my list. I don't think we match. Well, I think we have one match. I looked at your list, and we have one match in there. So, give a team, Danny Football, and I'll tell me who you got.
I'm going to start off with my my guilty pleasure, the Detroit Lions. I'm going to go with Eric Bieniemy. I think he's the best available. I know who you said you think is best available. I think Bieniemy is the best available, and I think the Lions should hire him. I don't think they will, but they should be hiring the best candidate available to turn that team around.
I like Eric Bieniemy, and I think he is getting a job. I have him somewhere else. I have Robert Sale. How do we say his name again? Saleh. Robert Saleh. I think he's been one of the top coaching candidates the last few off seasons.
Deserves a job, honestly.
Deserves a job. He was one of the main orchestrators of that team getting to the Super Bowl last year for the 49ers, defensive coordinator. I think he's definitely in line. I think he goes to the Lions. The Lions have a history of hiring defensive-minded coaches, and I think this guy is perfect. And last hire, our guy, Matt Patricia, obviously could not have gone worse for him. Could not have gone worse. The defense, I think, actually got worse. I think this guy is young. He's fresh. I think he's going to do – I think he has a chance to do well for the Lions. So I'm going Robert Saleh.
You want to pick the next team?
Yeah. Let's go Falcons.
Okay.
I'm going with your guy, Eric Bieniemy. I think offensive coordinator for the Chiefs. The Chiefs have probably the most explosive offense. They got speed and more speed. They got a solid tight end, decent running back, passable running back, and obviously the best quarterback in the league right now. The Falcons don't have that, but it's like a poor man's version of that. They got one of the best. I think he made the all-decade team in Julio Jones of wide receivers, or he was he had to be a candidate or made it. Matty Ryan still got a little juice left, I think, and if not, they're going to get I think they're going to go after a high free agent quarterback.
They got Calvin Ridley on the other side.
Calvin Ridley. Hayden Hurst is that tight end. Russell Gage is a nice piece, a third piece for the wide receiver option. Don't forget you have Todd Gurley, who is a shell of himself, but is, like we said, a passable running back. And Ito Smith kind of turned it on right at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Definitely got some holes, but I always think of the Falcons as an offensive team. Obviously, they gave up a ton of points to the Patriots in that Super Bowl, and that's been a main problem. But I think Eric Bieniemy kind of fits in better with the Falcons. I think it's an offensive-minded team. They get an offensive-minded coach to kind of play call for Matty Ryan and get Julio Jones going, getting Calvin Ridley going, Russell Gage. I think that's a perfect matchup for the Falcons.
I'm going to follow those kind of lines with your thinking with the offense. That's why I went with Joe Brady, OC for the Panthers. Fresh off the LSU job, and he handed Coach O that massive contract and Joe Burrow the Heisman. This dude's an offensive genius, and I agree with you, everything you just said about Bieniemy. Joe Brady will know how to use all those weapons, man. He'll be able to use Hurst, Ridley, Jones, Ito Smith, Matt Ryan if he's still there. The defense is going to be suspect, but if you're going to bring in an offensive guy, you got to expect fireworks, and I think Joe Brady can do that. Plus, he knows the division.
I like that too. I think they're gonna, whoever they bring in, I think is going to be an offensive-minded coach. Let's go Texans. Who do you got going?
I got Matt Patricia because the Texans just hire any Patriot that's on the market, so why not? They suck anyway, and Matt Patricia sucks, so let's all just suck together and get Watson on the way out. Call up Matty P and say, hey, if you want to toss Watson our way, we'll get you like a cornerback job or something like that.
So for the Texans, I'm going young because I'm basing on the fact that they're going to get rid of Watson and rebuild. So they already kind of started that, so I think they're going to do that. And I don't think they're going to get the number one college coach, or number one or two. So I going with Matt Campbell, head coach of Iowa State. He's been rumored the last few seasons. I think basing on like the youth movement in the NFL of getting these young college coaches. I think he's going to create. I think he's pretty good at creating a roster. I think he's pretty good at putting together a team and changing the culture. So I think with that, also the Texans stink anyway, so maybe he'll be out in a couple of years. But I'm going Matt Campbell, head coach of Iowa State, becoming the new Texans head coach.
Who do you got for the Chargers?
I'm going offensive coordinator of the Bills, Brian DeBall. I think obviously we've seen what he's done with Josh Allen. I think it's pretty safe to say many people didn't believe in Josh Allen.
No.
Coming into the draft. And I think he's done a great job with converting him into a solid quarterback. I think he's also a chance at the Houston Texans job. But just judging by they already have a quarterback that's been around a year. It's still young, but I think they're going to try to have him come in and develop what they already have and also put together a nice offensive package, much like the Falcons, around that young quarterback. They got a solid running back, wide receivers. They got those two nice wide receivers, and if they can get Hunter Henry back, that's a nice offense. And with an offensive-minded coach, that could turn that Chargers team around. So I'm going Brian DeBall.
I'm going with more of a balanced candidate. I'm going Jim Caldwell. Really shouldn't have been fired by the Lions in the first place. He was actually
deserves a job. Was
consistently getting the Lions to the playoffs, even though their roster wasn't too stacked. I think the Chargers bring him in. He's a proven guy. He's a Super Bowl. He got to a Super Bowl, I think, with the Colts. I think he's like the right veteran coach to kind of bring this young team together. And I think Herbert can flourish under him. So I like Jim Caldwell for the Chargers. And for the Jets, I'm going to go with another veteran guy. I'm going to go Marvin Lewis.
Love Marvin Lewis. He's your boy.
Consistent regular season coach. I get that he has, postseason issues, but I mean, at this point, the Jets aren't looking to the postseason. They need to be able to get things right now and just get this, get some wins under their belt. And Marvin Lewis can do that. So, I like Marvin Lewis for the Jets. I don't think they're going to, improve that much as long as ownership is the way it is, but they get a good coach.
I love Marvin Lewis. I think he deserves the job. And I also like the your other pick of
Jim Caldwell.
Jim Caldwell. I'm a big fan of those two guys, and I definitely think they deserve another chance. Guy I'm going with is, I think, again, the youth movement in the NFL is real. A lot of teams are going to college coaches and trying to bring them in. I'm going with one of the guys that I think is going to be like that coach last year, one of the bigger options to come into from the college, and that's Pat Fitzgerald, head coach of Northwestern. He's been rumored what I was talking about, Matt Campbell. He's been linked in past hirings. He's 46, so he's young. 46 years old, so he's younger. He's built up a nice system in Northwestern, and he knows how to create a culture. He knows how to create a winning mentality. And the Jets don't. In my opinion, this is where I differ. As much as I love Marvin Lewis, I feel like they just need to start completely over. And I need to build it from the ground up. And one of the places you build is the head coach. So I like grabbing a nice young head coach, bringing in a bunch of young new players, and try to rebuild that way. Like you said, there's no way they're going to be a Super Bowl contending team or a playoff team. So I'd rather them build a culture with a nice young head coach, much like LaFleur. Matt LaFleur had a little different, but I'm trying to think of an example. Like Sean McVay in the LA.
Maybe like a Cliff Kingsbury.
Cliff Kingsbury came in after, I guess after a 1-year stint with the last guy. I'm trying to think of an example. It's not coming to me, but kind of like a Cliff Kingsbury, or kind of Sean McVay wasn't a college coach, but he was
Matt
young.
Rule?
Matt Rule is a perfect example. like come in. He's got a new quarterback. You have his established, like he has a couple established players, but he's just building the roster. So I think that's a good idea. I think I do like him. I think he's one of the best available in the college coaching realm. So I think he can do a lot of damage there in the Jets for the Jets. For the Jags, I think this is the one that we agree with, and I'm not sure this is going to happen because I
don't put a lot of stock in it, but I see that there's rumors. So
I believe it every time I hear that he's coming to the NFL. But Urban Meyer, I think he's coming to the Jags. I think what's very intriguing and very enticing is that number one pick and getting that solid franchise quarterback.
He can get his own guy, Justin Fields, if you really wanted to.
I think he would be fired immediately if he passed on him. I think it's a slam dunk. You get the best quarterback in the draft. You get to draft high in every round. They have some pieces in there, don't get me wrong, but they can add to it. And I think he adds a little more excitement than the normal college coach because it's Urban Meyer. So I think the Jags, I think that's going to be the place. If he goes anywhere, I think that's going to be the place. Day football, same reasoning?
Urban Meyer, I mean, he's just he always seems to take time off and then he pops back up. Yeah. He's been rumored for NFL jobs for years at this point. It's really the only thing left he has to prove is that he can coach at the pro level.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Jags is such a clean slate at this point. There's no real big contract guys there that are going to be an issue. They're like you said, they have the number one pick. You're going to get your quarterback with that, so you're starting off with your guy. And I mean, if it's a job he wants, it's a job he's going to get. That's the thing. If he wants the job, he's definitely going to get it. It's just a question of will he take it.
Yeah. Last one, Eagles. Fresh off the presses. Who do you got? This is kind of like an instant reaction. The other ones we kind of prepared for. This is kind of just gut reaction.
I'm going to go with your guy, Robert Saleh.
Yeah.
I think he deserves, like we said earlier, he deserves a job. And I feel like if they're going to try and get back to where they were for Super Bowl contendership, it needs to start with the defense. Because you already know what you have in Jalen Hurts, and if they decide to go back to Wentz, you know what you have with Wentz in the offense. So I think that guy can build up a solid defense and get the Eagles back on track.
I think I like that. If Robert Saleh doesn't get a head coaching job, I'll be pretty shocked. He deserves one. He's been in the running for a couple of years. He deserves a head coaching job. So I hope he goes somewhere. And I like that. I like that reasoning. And he's also the other reason I see him going there. If they do go with Jalen Hurts, they're going to get, like I said, a young coach to build with and like to rebuild with. And I think I could see him doing good things. I could also see Brian DeBall being good there. Because, Jalen Hurts, very like, he can throw the ball, don't get me wrong, but he came into college known for his legs.
Right, definitely.
Same thing as Josh Allen, and he developed Josh Allen's passing game pretty well. Josh Allen developed, but he helped Josh Allen develop his passing game pretty well. So I could see that too. Man, for this one, this was tough. Like I even wrote down a couple separate ones that in case of because I have a couple potential other teams that could fire their head coach. And the Eagles, I really was stumped. I'm going to go with, as much as I just said, the veteran presence, I think I'm going to go with a guy that I really like, and you mentioned, and that's Jim Caldwell. I really like him. I think he didn't deserve to be fired from
this is kind of a team built for him.
I think this is a perfect team for him, and I think they need some, I think youth movement's nice, but I feel like they do have a lot of older pieces on that team as it is, minus their quarterback. So I feel like he would be a good leader and mentor to lead that team over the hump. So we'll see how it goes.
Jobs.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I really hope Marvin Lewis and Jim Caldwell get a job. The other guy I wrote down here just as a keep an eye on is who's like a established coach was Todd Bowles. I really liked him with the Jets, and now he's the defensive coordinator for the Bucs. But obviously, after that game, I think he's going to stay there for another year. But
yeah, honorable mention to Bill O'Brien and Adam Gase, who should never have head coaching jobs ever again.
Definitely Adam Gase. I feel like Billy O gets a lot of bad rep for just being a terrible GM. He shouldn't be both. He's not a great coach either, but I think he's like, if he just did the GM side of it, I think his legacy would have been a lot different. So that getting into our last segment of the show, we're going to get into the people's topic.
It's the people's topic, baby! People's topic.
So, reminder of people's topic, you can write in on our Instagram and or Twitter at Big Red Zone. Give us a follow. You can also find us on YouTube. Type in Big Red Zone, subscribe to the channel, and hit like on this video as well as all our other videos. Leave us a comment or a review on Apple Podcasts, and please tell a friend. Help grow the brand and share the good word of the Big Red Zone with your friends.
Good word. It's not a religion. Should we make a cult?
I think I'm pretty.
We'll talk about it.
Let's table it. I'm pretty busy this week, so maybe let's table and let's save it for another time.
All right. Where do you want to start? Twitter or Instagram?
Twitter.
Perfect.
No,
we're starting on Twitter.
Twitter.
From Big Red Zone's resident wife, at Molly Sny. She said she needs a breakdown of the song "Driver's License" by Olivia Rodrigo. Thank you.
I listened to like 30 seconds. I didn't really listen to it. I wasn't.
I've seen this posted on Instagram, like stories, like 20 times this week, and I have no idea.
Guy? That country guy.
I've seen that too. Who is that?
He came out with an album.
Everyone's about
Danny
that.
Football, are you a country guy?
No, I hate country.
Well, that ends that.
I've seen. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he just came out with a new album. So
you're kind of a country guy, though.
I am a country
Aren't
guy.
You hip on it?
I would know. I haven't listened to it.
Oh.
It came out during the football games, and I was like,
"Sorry, Molly, it's just not going to happen."
This lady's not.
The video is sick. I watched the video.
I skipped around in the video. It's 5 minutes long. What are we getting to? Like music is like
You're
movies
watching
now.
Breaking Bad, and episodes are an hour long.
No, Breaking Bad's so long. Shout out Breaking Bad. Also, I meant to do this earlier. Cobra Kai season 3. If you haven't seen it, watch it. If you haven't seen the Cobra Kai series at all, go watch it. It's amazing. Karate Kid, love it. Season 3 even better. Go watch Cobra Kai. And if you haven't seen Breaking Bad like me, I recommend watching it.
So I hope that answers.
Pretty intense.
Hope that answers your question. Watch Cobra Kai.
What do you think about this song? Watch Cobra Kai and Breaking Bad.
From at Big Al 2793. I think he's affiliated with Coach Guy Sports. Shout out them. Or not. I'm sorry, Couch Guy Sports. I'm stupid. Who is the one sports team you want to see win a championship that hasn't in a long time? Can be Boston or non-Boston sports teams. Personally, Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers.
Oof.
It makes me sick thinking about it. I would say the Celtics because they haven't won in a long time, but
Boston,
I feel like that's
Celtics.
too boring.
Boston, I'll go Celtics out of market. I'm going to say I want the Tigers to get a World Series.
I'll go Shinsuke Nakamura.
Ooh, should have had one already.
Telling me.
I think Ric Flair deserves a championship.
Oh my god, dude.
That'd be nuts.
I'd
do it. He'd do that in a heartbeat.
He's so old. How old's Ric Flair?
He's got to be in his 80s.
Rick, take guesses while I Google.
73.
Okay.
He's got to be in his 80s. 73.
Oh man, 68.
71.
Damn.
Whoa. That was close.
So what do we got? I got Shinsuke Nakamura. Someone said Celtics.
My Boston one's the Celtics, but if I had to pick somewhere else, I would go Ric Flair.
Perfect.
No, I would go The Rock. I want The Rock to win again.
I want the Brockton Rocks to win.
Ooh.
That's a good one. The Broncos haven't won in years.
Get Oil Cam back.
I think he deserves a job.
Get a title run. Small State Big Takes replied to that question and said they one of the 16 of them who host that podcast said they want the Bills to win.
Wow.
So yeah, another one on the Bills side.
I could care less of the Bills.
I don't know if I want them to get the whole thing. They can keep winning if they want. I don't want them to win the whole thing.
Moving to Instagram from at CMart266. Thoughts on Deontay Harris and his play for the Saints? Local kid, of course. Oh yeah.
Oh,
where's he
that's
from?
right.
He's from. I heard that.
I heard that. I heard that. I think after the last game, I didn't realize he was from Massachusetts. Deontay.
You Google it.
I'm on it right now.
Deontay Harris.
He's
He went to
not from-
Assumption.
Oh, he went to college.
Right.
He's not from here. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, yeah, that's cool.
I mean, I think it's pretty awesome to see like local guys. He's not really local, but see guys from that went to school around here.
I heard he had a crazy play. I don't remember.
He played all his years at Assumption. That's actually crazy that he made it into the league.
NFL.
Wow.
He had a good day. Yeah, I think
Shout out to Assumption College Greyhounds. Go, guys.
Tag him in all this.
My mom's an alum there, actually.
Shout out to Mrs. Football.
Mrs. Football. From when only at Joseph_Celia.
My week is complete.
Besides Brady and Mahomes, name a QB you'd want for a game-winning drive.
Matt Stafford.
Yeah, that's
Aaron
a good
Rodgers.
one. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is a good one. Man, I'm left with not much left.
You got 2 minutes.
I'll use every single last of those 2 minutes.
You know who I'd choose? Tampa Bay Vipers quarterback Aaron Murray.
Wow.
I'm a big Vipers fan. What can I say?
Should I go Taylor Heinicke?
He's an option, dude.
Former Battlehawks.
He's an option.
You know who I'd go with? I mean, I'll go with the kid. I'll go with the kid, Drew Brees. Drew Brees is a Hall of Fame quarterback. Yeah, he's like 50. He's done it a lot. I mean, the thing is, like, as long as it's not the NFC Championship game, I feel like I'll go with,
if the refs are on his side, he's clutch.
Yeah.
Aaron May made $600,000 for the Vipers quarterback.
How much did he make?
Wow, $600,000.
Man, I wish I was
Good for him.
at least good enough to be in the XFL.
Jesus.
All right. 60 seconds, Big Red. Send us home.
Well,
Oh, geez.
thank you for writing in on our people's topics. Like we said, we write in any time during the week to our Instagram or Twitter at Big Red Zone. Give us a follow. Subscribe to the channel. Quest for 100 subscribers is still afoot, people. Subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends to subscribe to the channel. Help us make grow our brand and grow the podcast name, and tell a friend. That's it. Thank you for Danny Football and producer John for joining this week. Have a great week, everyone.